I will make a motion that we approve staff's recommendation to adopt these items.
That's a proper motion. Is there a second? Second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it.
I'm going to mention a few people here that I've seen in the room, and I may be missing a few people, but we're so thankful to have Thelma Harper here, our U.S. State Senator here. Brenda Gilmore is back there. I see Brenda. And Matt Welcher from the Mayor's Office
here today to talk more about the direction of moving forward. We all have a part to play. I'm just a part of the team, so we can bring everything together to make this change happen. All up Jack Cardone.
Thank you, Councilman. We're mighty proud of our Councilman, DeCosta Hastings. You can see everybody here today, and it's a great turnout today to learn about the vision that we got and moving forward. We want to talk about a hidden, valuable area that we haven't never talked about. Here we have a very valuable asset, the interstate, only 2 Clarksville Highway, 1.7 miles. Now, the state came in here and they spent millions of dollars. You will not believe what they did when they came in here, out of nowhere. When they got through, they had 4 lanes, a turn lane, and sidewalks. It took several years to do this. They packed up and left, and nothing ever happened. Anyway, I think this is the future. Once you get past the gateway, that we're looking at the future of Nashville. And it's another valuable thing we've overlooked, and that's the river. Some of our speakers today are going to talk about this. We got Ed Ewan here today. I always thought that it was going to be the interstate that would make this area develop. I-24, 65, focus on this asset that we got here and what we can do with it. If nothing else, we can put banners on all those 100-year light poles right through there and send our message out to the people as they ride right through that boulevard or parkway or whatever we want to talk about it today. So I'd like to bring up our first speaker, Evans.
Thank you, Jack. I'm Evan Holliday. I'm with LDG Development. I just first wanted to say they're currently under construction. There's 240 all new, brand new, Class A style apartment buildings. The proximity to downtown. You have bus lines that go right down Dickerson, right across West Trinity Lane, that can bring you right downtown in 8 to 10 minutes. And then on top of that, you have, a neighborhood that it's ripe for redevelopment. The movement is going north.
At this point in time, we have Josh Randolph and Brittany Turner here from Aerial Development.
So excited to be here. Stand up here. And we study what NashvilleNext wants to do in areas and see how we can incorporate that to make the area a better place, not just make money. So we really like everything that this organization stands for, and we're pumped. So quick update.
22 acres on the corner of West Trinity and Old Matthews, and it's 190 multifamily units. It's 90 townhomes, 16 single-family homes, and 25,000 square feet of commercial along West Trinity.
These guys have been leaping and bounding for a long time just getting this project off the ground. So we're very excited to have you guys here and very proud of you.
We have a very wonderful diversity, and as this area continues to grow, we're making plans now to continue that diversity to make sure that our child care remains affordable for those who need quality preschool.
One of our committee members that's working diligently on what can we do to really call attention to Heaton's Park, Lot 1. He's co-chairing a committee with one of our members who's not here today, Karen Dunlap. But they've been working with Metro Parks. They've been working with other nonprofits that are actually interested in parks and recreation. So we've just asked Jim to come and give us a report on it.
State officials have been elected, council members worked so hard in this area. Jeff, like you said, we want to keep that history here, not change that, but honor what came before us and build on that. So thank you all for coming.
Hear from Richard Jackson. You're going to be talking to us a little bit about some of our history and our culture.
Just tremendously excited that this area that we're talking about today is getting citywide attention. It's been hard over the years to get this attention. And we talk about north by northeast, but the vast majority of this area that's covered by north by northeast has been known for nearly 100 years as the Haynes community. And it's named after a gentleman that was born into slavery in 1850 in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, by the name of William Haynes, a name that is under-mentioned in Nashville history. William Haynes' father, his slave owner father, bought property for him at Taylor's Road and Whites Creek Pike. Taylor's Road is now known as Trinity Lane. And he built, by built, I mean he added to that property that was given to him to the point where he owned most of this property. He was a significant player in the early 20th century, so much so that he contributed part of the land on which Haynes High School was built. Haynes Middle School is on that property now. He was one of the incorporators of Citizens Bank. He was one of the incorporators of American Baptist College. Last but not least, I want to talk about what we're doing at American Baptist College, where I am now. Based on the other speakers and their holdings, it appears that the largest landowner in North by Northeast is American Baptist College. We own 54 acres on the riverfront. 54 acres. We use 18. We want to be at the table as we talk about what will happen with the development of this corridor. So we want to be there. We want to talk about bridges over the Cumberland. We want to talk about water taxis. We want to talk about resort areas on the river. That's part of what we want to do with our 34 acres. But when it comes to talking about commercial property, retail, entertainment, resort, 34 acres that has never been used in any of our lifetimes. Or to Lock 1 Park, all on the river. Question is, how are we going to serve that growth to get attention in North by Northeast, Talbot's Corner, Haynes Community, Lock 1 Park? Because growth is beating at our door for a change. So we talk about growth, we need to think about who is involved in sitting at the table to talk about how that growth occurs. And everybody who has a stake ought to have a say. Thank you.
At this point in time, I want to introduce Ed Ewing.
Observation is Nashville, Tennessee has extraordinary opportunity. And with all of you people teaming together, and especially the city, sharing a vision, let me tell you my vision. My vision that I see, and I've developed property in many places, is I see it done. I see the entrance to Nashville, Tennessee. Where in the hell is the entrance to Nashville, Tennessee? If you can tell me, I'd like to know. But I come from Indiana all the time down the interstate, and like Jack over here says, it's in 24. But here's what's wrong. That, I call it, I'm going to leave you 3 words today. 1, Trinity Boulevard. 2, the land between Trinity and the Cumberland River is Gold Coast. Gold Coast means it has significant opportunity and can be the Nashville of tomorrow, with signature bridges that when you see them on television, that these bridges say, look at me. I am Nashville, Tennessee, the brand new modern city. See those bridges? I just got it from Richard here today. Those 3 bridges or 4 bridges, I did not draw those bridges. Reagan Smith over here drew bridges. I said, if I were to put bridges in, how many would there be and where would they be? I really won't care. None of you should care to be self-serving. But the idea is a Trinity Boulevard connected, relieving the traffic from downtown that causes the north side and the rest of the distance downtown to develop. Seems to me like a pretty good idea. Richard gave me an idea today. One of those bridges is Rosa Park Bridge. The other bridge could be William Haynes. I don't know. One could be Jack the Barbecue. But to me is, all of you here have a choice. You have a choice that each and every one of you work in your 5 inches, but having an interest over here when the rest of it is nothing, and whatever happens there happens, as opposed to working with the city leaders that you plan and plan. If you don't do this, I won't know the difference. And I'm emotional about this because it's just a damn good idea that all of you have been kicking around for years. And what happens is, you got to do it because it's simply the right thing. Thank you.
Is that Nashville North by Northeast exists as an ongoing discussion, an ongoing evaluation, ongoing sharing. An idea about the workshop basically came from Jack, and it's an idea that we want to continue to share ideas. So what we've heard today shared and what we're now thinking about and how we may respond, we always have the opportunity at our meetings to continue the discussion that we started today.
Thank you, Mayor. September the 12th, our mayor's coming here, and we're going to take in the big ballroom here. And I told Matt with the mayor's office, he said, do you think you can fill up that room? I said, Matt, we're going to fill it up if we have to rent people. So we're looking forward to having the mayor here, and we hope by then we will all be on the same sheet music on our future and our vision. What a crowd, what a crowd. This is a great, I think that we need to give ourselves a round of applause for this crowd. At this time, I'd like to recognize Frank Hester.
Mayor, glad to have you here, and invite you to come back anytime you would like to. We appreciate you being here. Almeda Shrine has been part of the Nashville community since 1913. We have been here at this facility since 1980. We've been a vital part of this community. Our members come from all over Middle Tennessee. We have over 3,000 members. And a lot of them, they work and live right here in Nashville. So we have a big stake in this area. We like and appreciate the efforts that's been put forth by this organization to revitalize this area. We think it's much needed. Red Hat's out. 100% of the money that we raise goes toward that. For these children, we don't keep any of it. It goes straight to the hospital. Jack, thank you again. It's an honor and privilege to be part of this organization. Thank you, sir.
Whether he sleeps or works, but every time he's needed, he's always here. But without further ado, let me introduce DeCosta Hastings.
Thank all of you very, very much for being in the midst. This is an exciting period. As some of you have probably, Tennessean readers, woke up this morning to even more news about our community. I would like to introduce to you our illustrious Mayor, Mayor Megan Berry.
Thank you, DaCosta. You know, Councilman Hastings works hard for all of you every day. It was a great reminder when Jack was talking about the formation of this group over the 19 years of all of the elected officials who have been so key to serving this part of our community. I know that we've recognized some. I want to give a quick shout out because I think we've been joined by a few more. Councilmember Karen Johnson is with us. Councilmember Scott Davis is with us. I can tell that with Jack and Mac and all of you, this has grown tremendously. Now, it may be the barbecue, but I'm hoping that it's not. I'm hoping that it's bigger than that, and I think it is. As Richard just said, it's about bridging the divide, and it's about what is possible in this part of town. I think this area is a hidden gem. It sits right along the Cumberland River. It has that important access to the city from the north, as Jack just explained. And you know, so many of our visitors are coming down and they get their first impression of what Nashville is all about right here, right when they're coming by. So when you are talking about the revitalization and re-envisioning of this area, I just want you to know that I completely support that. I am totally in support that this is a key part of Nashville's vital growth as we move forward. And we are growing. Many of you know that. We talk about the statistics, it's anywhere between 60 and 100 people a day that are coming to Nashville. That's pretty powerful when we think about what our opportunities are. And I know that with the community backing, this is going to be a long process. It's going to involve making sure that we do safeguard the historic history and integrity of this area. This place where William Haynes was born, and this place that also came to be the Citizens Bank, and also the American Baptist College, two key pieces of this community. And also making sure that we continue to think about what's possible. So what is possible? You as the community get to decide what is possible. And I believe that all of the activity that we're already seeing along that corridor of River North is going to spill over into this area. I saw the drawings today in the paper that Ed Ewing had put out there. I think those are great starting points for this amazing conversation that you all want to have. I know a lot of this is going to be involving land use policy and what kind of land use policy you want. That's going to drive a lot of the development out here and what it's going to look like. I know Doug Sloan came and spoke recently with planning to come and talk to you about what that looks like. Because I think at the end of the day, what you all want to figure out is what fits in to the possibilities for this area. In the coming weeks, the planning department is going to come and lead the community through that visioning process. And ultimately, there very well be an amendment to the NashvilleNext plan. How many of y'all participated back at NashvilleNext, and that was on out there? I had some people who participated. So you might remember, that was something that the Metro Council adopted back in 2015. And it was supposed to be the vision that went through 2040. But things changed. And so we know that that is a living document. It may be that it needs to be amended to reflect what's happening right now and what is happening in this community. So the other thing that I can't leave the podium without mentioning tonight too is transit. Because that is also going to be a key part of the conversation about how this area grows and develops. Transit is coming this way too. What it will include, which impacts this area, is rapid bus service both down Dickerson Pike, Clarksville Pike, and light rail going from Jefferson Street to TSU. So we're going to have a lot of things going on. And those buses and trains are going to get you around, and they're going to get you around a lot faster than your car is. We know that if we do expand that access to transit, it means that we're going to have a lot more mobility across our community. It also means that we're going to have a lot more opportunity for development, which is what you all want to see. I think it's important for us to talk about this. I think it's important for the community to have a vision. And clearly, you all are coming together today, tonight, and in the weeks to come to make sure that that is happening. Jack, Matt, thank you. This is a pretty amazing outpouring of community support. Thank you.
Let's give it up for our mayor. Thank you so much. The things that you're here for, in addition to the fellowship, is this is going to be a call to action. Because you talk about a big area here, okay, from right here at Trinity Lane and the interstate all the way over to Clarksville Pike. And this whole area, in times past, has really been a barrier. When you think about it, it's one of the best looking barriers you have in the country, because look at the elevation on these hills right here. The views of this area are unbelievable. But when we first started Nashville North by Northeast, the NashvilleNext program was already underway. They were already having community meetings, and we were in our what we call organizing phase. So we were really not able, honestly, to have much input on the NashvilleNext plan until we spent a few years getting to know each other, trying to figure out what we wanted to be when we grew up, and forming our own identity, as opposed to having somebody from Metro Planning or some consultant tell us who we are, right? We are a diverse community, we're an active community, but we also have developed our own sense of identity. So that's why it's so important for us to be here tonight to kick off what we think is going to be a tremendous change immediately that will encourage development, that will encourage more home ownership, that will encourage more public infrastructure investments in our community. We got two really important people here from the planning department too. We got Lee Jones and Lucy Kemp. Would you guys mind standing up? Where are you? There you are, right in the middle. Okay, those two guys are going to be responsible for shepherding us over the next, believe it or not, 6 weeks on a really intensive program of getting a plan amendment in January. All right, so think about where we are right now. They have already impaneled a steering committee. The invitations went out today. This steering committee is going to meet next week, okay? We're going to start this process next week. By the first of next month, we're going to have sessions, we call them charrette sessions, but we're going to be using our public engagement process to sit down on Monday night, start working. We're going to meet together on Tuesday night. We're going to meet together on Wednesday night. We're going to meet together on Thursday night. And because at that point in time, we will have done our job to say, here's what we want to change the land use for this area right here. And we're going to present that in such a fashion that we're going to have community buy-in from everybody in this room that wants to participate and others that we will invite. But we also will have one thing that other people in our community don't have, and that is we got the resolve, we've already got the passion, we got the energy to make this thing work, and we've got to all work together, though, in this short period of time to make this happen. Give me your hand if you're interested in doing this. Raise your hand. I want to see how many people are going to help us. We need your help, but we need it now, okay? This is a call to action. You will not believe this, but the Planning Commission and the Mayor's Office have been working with us to get us to the top of the priority list for a change in NashvilleNext. This has not been done in any sort of scope like this before. Usually it's done on a piecemeal basis, parcel by parcel. What we're looking at now is a top-down revision of our land use. This is going to literally boost our opportunity and our efforts to really make something that not only Nashville will be proud of, but the state of Tennessee and other people are going to point to as a way to really engage in intelligent, smart development supported by the community.
News 2 is dedicated to covering Nashville's historic growth in a series we call Nashville 2017. And while some areas are no doubt booming, others are still waiting for that growth. Nick Calloway has been talking with people and business owners in one section of North Nashville, hoping they're the neighborhood that's going to be next. Nick.
Yeah, Eric, this is North Nashville, so Talbot's Corner and Katy Hill, and west along West Trinity Lane. And some say that this area is primed for revitalization. Take a drive along West Trinity Lane and it's easy to spot room for growth. People that live here enjoy close proximity to downtown. It's the location and infrastructure that make this part of North Nashville desirable.
I am totally in support that this is a key part of Nashville's vital growth as we move forward.
Tuesday night, Mayor Megan Barry spoke at a dinner hosted by Nashville North by Northeast United. The neighborhood advocacy group is launching a new vision for the area and working with city planners to amend the NashvilleNext plan to spur development here. Jack's Barbecue owner Jack Cawthon and realtor Mac McDonald co-chair the neighborhood group.
So what we're doing is addressing a higher land use policy to attract more development in this area. Since we're so close to downtown, we're in the natural path of progress, and we think that Nashville's growing north.
As opposed to East Nashville, Melrose, and the Gulch, and Midtown, and Charlotte Avenue, we think we have a lot of great features that they don't have. And so we are saving the best for last.
And that group is seeking input from people that live in North Nashville. They hope to present a plan for land use policy change in January. Eric?
Yeah, we have a pond in our neighborhood and we got to keep the pond. The Greenway area, also to include pedestrian bridge and also another bridge based off of transit 65. We had high rises there. We wanted to maintain the Lock Park. We talked about developing Trinity Lane with grocery stores and shopping and that sort of thing.
Over here in Katy Hill, they have set the standard and example of what something like that is going to look like. So if you're out riding, just go by Katy Hill, you can see some of the nicer stuff up there.
Brick Church Pike near I-65, where all the old hotels are, is a prime site for redevelopment like the Gulch. You know, it put a lot of our tax dollars into that and put the high rises there. And everything else coming along Trinity Lane would be a step down. Now, loss of habitat for wildlife. Currently, we have a lot of deer and wild turkeys and everything else. One of the things that came up was we don't have a lot of green space. And what we have is underutilized, like Lock 1 Park.
They have full-service hotels.
New hotels.
Impervious surfaces. And someone made that suggestion, I'm not quite sure what that means, but...
We think definitely the bridges, one could connect to Old Buena Vista, the other one to a non-existing road, which is Scruggs Road, but it kind of divides it into thirds, starting with restaurants and grocery stores on both ends. Then as you get into the middle, doing some big box stores. When I say box stores, like a Target. Recreational stuff, like bowling alleys and stuff. There's nothing to do around here. So in Trinity Lane, actually think about some recreational stuff. A bowling alley, a theater, whatever, Walgreens type stores. It is an older community around here. I'm starting to have to get meds myself, so it'd be great to have a place to get them. The junkyard, obviously, everybody wants that to go, so that would be a great first addition for anything.
Old Irish proverb was a great society is when people plant trees that they'll never see. And there's a lot of people here planting trees they'll never see. There's so much missing here, you could say anything and it would work.
Thank you all for coming out. I see a lot of familiar faces. So a lot of you gave us about 2.5 hours of your time Monday. We've seen a lot of you this week during the week. And so I appreciate you giving us your time. We had consensus on the areas that should be maintained as they are, on the areas that should change, and the areas that should grow. To the river, wants to be more connected across the river, wants to be more connected with its neighbors outside of the community, but also more connected to its neighbors in the community.
Remember, our policies are broken out based on the transect. And the transect goes from T1, transect 1, all the way up to transect 6. Transect 6 is the Batman building downtown. T1, transect 1 is a forest, is wilderness. No buildings, no development, no nothing. T4 is right in the middle. And what a lot of folks said Monday night was, we want something right in the middle. The consensus was that most of the folks that participated Monday night saw real opportunities along West Trinity, along the river, and at the gateway or the interchange into the community for mid-rise, mixed-use types of development. and that's what the T4 policy area calls for. T4 urban mixed-use neighborhood, again, this is the Germantown policy that we were talking about. This is, folks really saw the riverfront being this modern intensity mixture of uses, creation of new neighborhoods along the riverfront, as well as down towards Katy Hill. T4 Urban Neighborhood Center, these are the mixed-use locations along West Trinity Lane. So where you have residential primarily along the corridor at these key intersections where you have commercial zoning today. This policy, again, a low, moderately intense mixture of uses at these locations. The number one location where we should focus growth in the community was the Gateway. It was the interchange of 65 and West Trinity. That's where we got the most high-rise buildings placed on the maps and the most red circles for we need growth here.
Thank you, Lee. Okay, so now it's time for station participation. 6 stations for you to interact with.
That's why we have them big trees. They have
If I could get everybody's attention, if everybody'd have a seat. A point of personal privilege, I do want to note that our former chairman is in the audience tonight, Jim McLean, and I want to welcome him here. So where's Jim? Just if he can wave. There he is. Thank you, Chairman, for coming. Strong mentor for me personally and leader, activist in Nashville. Thank you, Chairman, for coming down. All right, so let's go on to item number 1.
Good evening. This is a request to amend the Bordeaux-Whites Creek Community Plan. The proposal is threefold. It's first to amend the name of the community plan, to amend the community character policy, and to adopt a small area plan to guide future zoning and development. This is a planning department initiated plan amendment resulting from a high level of interest in the area. The study area is shown here in red. It's bounded by Interstate 65 on the east, the Cumberland River on the south, stops just shy of Clarksville Pike, and captures existing single-family neighborhoods just north of West Trinity. Which built a public outreach program that exceeded the Planning Commission's community meeting and notification requirements. We began with a steering committee that was made up of local business owners, property owners, neighborhoods, institutions to serve as a sounding board throughout the planning process and to increase community awareness of the project. The public input process was centered on a 4-day design charrette. We built the charrette to include multiple opportunities for public engagement throughout the week so that people could participate on their own time. We built a website. We sent out meeting flyers through the steering committee, and we sent out thousands of public notice letters, and our efforts were successful because we had more than 200 people attend the first community visioning meeting during the charrette week. So here's the proposed policy map. As you can see, staff is proposing to amend the policy for the majority of the study area to protect existing neighborhoods, to promote connectivity, to achieve a more urban form, and to direct change and growth along Trinity Lane, the river, and the interchange. This approach goes from applying a vibrant mixed-use corridor policy along the river to support non-residential uses and potential for economic development, transitioning to an urban residential corridor policy along Trinity Lane, and then transitioning again down to a suburban neighborhood policy, both neighborhood evolving and neighborhood maintenance. To change the character along Trinity Lane and to direct growth along the river corridor and the interchange, And the third is to adopt a small area plan to include the community's vision statement and supplemental policies. Staff is recommending approval of the plan amendment.
We'll go ahead and open this item for public hearing. So we are the applicant for this particular provision, so there won't be an applicant that speaks. So we'll go right into the public hearing.
This area has really needed a review. The existing policies there have really restricted this area from growing, and the area needs to grow. I think the people want it to grow, and this is a nice vision.
And I'm a member of the Haynes-Trinity Steering Committee. I'm also the president of the historic Haynes Heights Neighborhood Association located in the study area. So we have deeply appreciated the planning department's professionalism in all their efforts to include the various stakeholders in the charrette process. We felt they understood our desire to preserve the existing neighborhoods, yet provide for compatible development along the corridor that would promote economic development with a diverse mix of housing choices and businesses.
I think the proposed plan addresses that skepticism by providing protection for the long-standing neighborhoods and subdivisions that are located in the area, while providing for the potential for the needed growth and development of the planned sector. I appreciate the opportunity.
I am a member of the executive board of the Haynes Manor subdivision, but I'm standing here to represent Karen Dunlap, who is a residential property owner and also a member of the steering committee. She is out of state at this time, but she wanted her statement to be read.
The district is poised and ready and prepared for the growth and development that we dearly need. We need the economic developments. We need all the opportunities we have to grow the area. This area is fit and is ready. It's been over 10 years or 15 years ago that we've worked hard to make this happen. So this just didn't happen overnight or last year or 2 years ago, my friends. This has been a long time.
I also want to highlight that I grew up in this area. I went to Haynes Middle School, and my family still lives in the Haynes Heights area. I made a personal choice to move back to the area to be a part of the great and wonderful neighborhood that it is. So thank you so much.
I want to speak in favor of this policy change. The Metro Planning, Dara and Lee, they did an unbelievable job on this process and I had the honor of being on the steering committee. And the highlight, the charrette week, the crowd was really big. They showed up. Everyone, it was a packed house. And it was a unified vision the community had for, they wanted better things. They wanted better housing options, stores, retail, shops, amenities that other communities already have that this area never has got. So I think this policy change will be a step in that direction.
I'm also co-chair of Nashville North by Northeast with Jack Coughlin, have been for the last 4.5 years, developing a real sense of coming together as a community, determining who we are, who we want to be, and to have government policies hopefully enacted that will allow us to work into the future to accomplish our vision and our dreams.
I have been owners of Leaps and Bounds Preschool since 2009, and we've relocated our business to 407 West Trinity Lane. We believe in the area, and this entire area has not been used as it was originally intended. It had a lot of promise when Opryland was viable. Of course, that closed in 1997. So some of the things that have fallen into lack of use are due to that. And finally, we're all about the preservation that occurred during this charrette. We really appreciate that the neighbors want to retain quality in the area. Appreciate your support. Again, Bill Munson.
All about checks and balances, especially on Trinity Lane, from Clarksville Highway down to Brick Church Pike. I've attended the charrettes. I'm at all the meetings, and just from a checks and balances side on your end, the people and the community leaders are looking to have a laser-like focus in that particular area for economic growth, so I do stand behind.
I'll say that my hat's off to many members of staff, Lee Jones,
Dara Sanders, Anita McCraig, Anna Grider, Marty Sewell, Andrew Collin, Justin Wallace, Jessica Buchler, Sanjay Salika. These staff members for the last 90 days have worked diligently day and night. And importantly is the dream of Jack Cothran. My hat's off to the staff. Jack's not going to take his hat off. He never does. But Jack, for 2 decades, for the last 20 years, has talked and believed. He dreamed. He bought property. He sold other people on the idea, including myself. I bought some property in that area on the merits of the possibilities of this Haynes-Trinity coming to fruition as it will today, I hope. But it's important, I want to leave this with you. You as planners and staff members, I urge you as early as tomorrow morning to start putting the wheels in motion to locate a bridge crossing over to Whites Creek to Trinity Haynes area. The lifeblood's going to be with that connection from downtown. Now, whether that's a bridge like the, would you turn this off, please? Whether that's a bridge like the one that crosses Arno River in Florence that has the shops on it, and maybe if you built that type bridge, you'd get some type of monies from the from private funds, or whether it's the Bunker Hill Bridge like in Boston. But it needs to be a bridge, of destination. When people come to Nashville, they say, I want to go see that bridge. That'll take them to this area. And that's what's going to awaken this sleeping giant that's been just ignored for all these years. And thank you for all your time and your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate you coming down. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. And how about we start with you, Mr. Haynes?
Given that we have no opposition and given the hard work of the staff, I will support this wholeheartedly.
It looks like the staff's done an excellent job. I've not seen anything where someone's gotten that kind of support. So I congratulate them and support what they're trying to do.
All right, Commissioner Tibbs.
No further comment. Just echo what my fellow commissioners have also stated.
All right.
Can just start for me? It looks like a really great process, getting all that feedback and making a very rich, interesting project. So I'm in support, yes.
Commissioner Bichelle?
I just am in awe of the process that you all ran and the amount of community involvement that includes.
I couldn't be prouder of the staff. Thank you so much for the hard work, and I'm in awe of it as well. And so I'm fully in support of this.
Commissioner Vice Chair?
I don't really have any further comments other than to say thank you to the staff. It's great to see when, as one of the commenters said, the community's vision is kind of put into action. And it's really helpful for us to see this. I know we did this all for NashvilleNext, but to see it really holistically. If we just looked at Trinity Lane, I think we'd be sort of overwhelmed that, oh my gosh, there's all of this neighborhood evolving. But then you look behind it and you see you've done a great job of preserving a very traditional suburban, community feel. So you really have some of everything here, and it really does exemplify what we're trying to accomplish with NashvilleNext of diversity of housing choice, preservation, new development. Again, as one of the letters said, it's all about implementation, and I know there's things that are outside of our control on the implementation side in terms of, a bridge or economic development activities, but I think this really sets the stage for further investment and activity and growth in this area. So thank you.
Why don't you
I will make a motion that we approve staff's recommendation to adopt these items.
That's a proper motion. Is there a second? Second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it.